Thank you for joining us this evening. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bracken Ross, and I would like to introduce you to our newly founded company, On Point Design. This evening, my team members and I would like to take you through our corporate vision, our process development strategy, methodology, design, and knowledge management strategy. At On Point Design, we are focused on user-centered design, assured products, and effective, efficient, and easy to learn. Our goal is to provide technology-driven solutions, product design, and usability evaluation strategies to enhance the user experience and interface functionality. We believe that a good user experience should never be overlooked or ignored. Our core competencies at On Point Design drive effective, efficient design techniques to meet the client's needs while keeping the user in mind. Robust product development strategies. We utilize an agile methodology, and we involve the user in the development process, meet the client's expectations the first time on time, and deliver a user-focused solution. We have a vast exposure of clients, from children's toy companies to corporate website design and development to Apple applications. Our experienced team can evaluate and strategize, enhance user experience and interface functionality. I'd like to introduce you to our first team member. His name is Yosef Tiklawood. Yosef is an international team member from Ethiopia, Africa, graduated from Taylor University with a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Business and Management in 2014. He's traveled to Southeast Asia, the Caribbean for cultural, educational, and global business studies. And Yosef brings to the table his experience as a business researcher and consultant for the Northeast Indiana Innovation Center in Fort Wayne, Indiana. His specialty is with entrepreneurial projects, data research, creating business plans, and marketing for startups. He's refined and engaging clients with the design process and making sure it's always valid and in play. Yosef's role is to be involved in the client consultation, review and change process, updating product design, and presenting alterations to the client as a process developer with On Point Design. Go ahead, Yosef.
Thank you, Bracken, for the introduction. As Bracken stated, my name is Yosef Tiklawood, and I'm going to talk about what service our company is going to offer and how it's going to help our clients. We provide product advice and technical expertise on various levels as needed to our firms. And beside that, we evaluate what the current design is on the firm based on trend analysis and usability testing to see what kind of product we can maintain and we can improve, and how we're gonna better serve the business and the users. And based on the test, we can present review and ideas, and we can make some changes, and we can approve updates with a person remotely to develop and implement innovative technical strategies. And we have a really good technical teams who can do good research, so we can research our product goals and lay a good foundation on the project. And however, we won't settle on the research and ideas only. We can work really hard to transform your ideas into a beautiful product. And finally, based on realistic targets and practical action plans, we can add intelligence and innovative to the company so that we can transform your success into competitive advantage. As you can see on the website, it shows how good we are with designs, and we decided to display the website to show you guys what we can offer as a company. And now I would like to introduce Rebecca, one of the most important team members in our company. Rebecca graduated salutatorian of her high school, and 3 years later she received Bachelor's of Arts in International Business and French from Ball State University. And she studied in France for 1 semester to study culture and economic development. After working as a student help desk associate during her undergraduate career, she started working with the Ball State Technology help desk, and she was involved in lots of successful projects, specifically with consulting job with small manufacturing company to step by step to expand their business presence in South America. As a graduate student at Ball State, Ms. Rebecca has involved in consulting job with Box.com. She managed students' employees, and she made lots of presentation about the new technology, and she became very proficient about popular softwares and applications. Her successful leadership and project management skill has led her to be the project manager and consultant design at OnPoint Design.
Thank you, Yosef. So as my team members have all stated, we really want to put a renewed focus on the user. I am Rebecca Penn, the lead project manager on our team, and today I'd like to explain a little bit about the methodologies that we use to perfect user-centered product application and interfaces for your company. So we use several techniques, but I'll just go through a few just to give you a better sense of our proven methods and techniques that will bring great results to you. So go ahead and pull up our methodology page. So first we use empathy mapping, where we really focus on your target market. We will consider the user's experiences and map out the five senses that relate to the emotions that they will have when using your product or viewing your interface design. We will figure out what they are expected to think and what they are thinking through user-centered focus, and we will analyze patterns and inconsistencies to evaluate the design. Then we use information clustering. We list any large or small ideas that you and your assigned design consultant have for your design's future. After quickly generating a list of ideas, content, issues, things that you just are popping in your head and thinking about when you're considering your design, we can sort them into groups based on what your idea represents and allow us to identify what concerns have yet to be addressed or have been addressed and what we can achieve with your product. We also conduct focus groups, large and small, to ask for honest opinion about the design of your product. Using an OnPoint Design prototype and Think Aloud protocol with a group-centered focus that will display what the user is thinking, looking for, and trying to do. One of the last items that we use to evaluate your design is experimentation. This is a very important aspect of our company. Testing in the real world can quickly shape an idea's design. Even after an experiment with multiple user feedback, we can still modify or completely change the design and retest it again. So as you can see, these four aspects, while that is not all of the aspects that we use or methodologies that we use to evaluate your design, it is probably the main points that we focus on. So I would now like to introduce Angie Boyle, a valued team member at OnPoint Design. Angie earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Management Information Systems here at Ball State University and is currently employed at Ball State as a Purchasing Systems Coordinator. She has 8 years of experience as a system administrator and has always been passionate about collecting, managing, and analyzing data from various systems. During this time, she has been chosen to lead projects implementing new systems, improving workflow, efficiency, and data tracking in manufacturing, healthcare, and higher education. She also has had the opportunity to train end users, creating training material and procedural documentation in each of these fields. Angie is passionate about making technology a positive experience for the user, and she works hard as our premier data analyst at OnPoint Design Consulting.
Thank you, Rebecca. So first of all, before I introduce one of our last members, I want to talk a little bit about a blog that I recently wrote in regards to integration and design. So first of all, the one thing that I want to talk about and share about integration design is talk about why it's so important to OnPoint. So to begin with, in 2011, there was a study that Gartner did that reported 70 to 80% of business intelligence plans failed. I would like to think that if they did that plan today, that failure rate would be lower because we can include our knowledge and our skills that we've learned through interaction design and data analysis. Data designers and interaction design involves things like designers create dashboards and tools. Their goal for these dashboards is to allow data to be easily obtained by users in the least non-technical way. Data designers' concentration is on designing interfaces for devices and screens. Today, we're going to demonstrate some different examples in regards to color and design. On point, would like to share some of our experiences with color. So the first one Rebecca's going to bring up for me is this one. What color do you expect this to be?
Red.
Red. What else? What about the shape? Would you know to stop? Because you can read English, right? Go ahead and show the next one. This is a typical stop sign. What's different about this one is yellow and one is red. When would you see a yellow stop sign? You would,
Yellow sign, sorry.
but when would you see a yellow stop sign? Because yellow typically means yield, but when do we see a yellow stop sign? Most of the time it's on a school bus, which is kind of ironic because what do we have problems with people passing school buses? If you see a bus, look and see if it's yellow or red. It's kind of interesting. The next one is, let's see, we'll pick on Josh. Where's Josh? I was told you were a good one to volunteer. So if you can look at this screen and be loud about it and quick and see if you can read what the words say.
Read what the words say?
Uh-huh.
No problem. Yellow, blue, orange, black, red, green, purple. Yellow, red, orange, green, black, blue, red, purple, green, blue, orange.
Okay, is anybody surprised that he did that? No? Can every one of you guys do that? Does anybody else want to try?
Try them down the other way.
Try reading the color.
Try the other way. Read the color as you see the word.
Read the color that the word is what you're saying?
Correct.
Green, red, blue, yellow, blue, black, red, blue, green. I think that's supposed to be black. I'm colorblind, so bear with me here. Green, black, I'm sorry, red, yellow, black, blue, black, purple, red, green.
Good. Is that harder or easier than you expected?
Reading the color is more difficult than reading the word.
So why do you think that is?
How our brains have been programmed.
Yep, because it's doing something different than what you're used to doing. Another one we want to demonstrate is, let's do the other. Yep. It's yep. This other one is called Which App Am I? How many of you can identify all of these apps?
Does anybody want to know what this app is without knowing the color of the app? Yep. And how about this one? Yep. And how about that one?
AOL.
Yes.
But those are all apps?
Correct. Icons of different applications.
Okay.
They're black and white, so that represents the importance of color. Obviously, when they're dark gray or discolored, they're a little bit harder to identify. So there they really pop out. You can see which what they mean. As you can see, like Tumblr or blogs are noticeably blue. WordPress is gray still. So it's just interesting to see what the importance of color is when using different applications.
Sounds good. So enough about interaction, design, and color, because we could talk about it all day. I want to introduce our last member, which is Jacob Ellis. Jacob Ellis is our technical analyst, and he's a great person to have on our team. He has experience in team coordination, customer service, project planning, asset management, and a technical experience. His strong technical background has worked within Windows Server environment, networking configuration, domain management, and VoIP. He has experience in not only supporting an installation of VoIP, but also rolling it out. Jacob has earned a Bachelor of Arts from Western Michigan in Political Science, Telecommunication, and Information Management. Jacob strives to make every product user-friendly and easy to learn. I'd like to introduce Jacob.
Thank you, Angie. 6'1", 185 pounds. Maybe it's a little short. The real question is tonight, why hire us? Why would you hire our consulting firm over a different consulting firm? It's the core of the issue, correct? On the screen, you're gonna see a quote. This quote is from a coach / pretend it's a company, another consulting firm. Somebody read that for me? Somebody that can see it preferably.
Okay, it's game nine of the finals. There's a minute left on the shot clock. You throw it into Jones. He'll slam dunk down the court and then set a 2-point pick and draw a technical foul.
Great, close. He said free throw it down the court to Jones. Now, as you scroll down the page, the reason that you're gonna hire us is knowledge management, right? There's nothing technically wrong with that statement. Everything in that statement is a fact about basketball, is data about basketball, but given the proper context, it doesn't make sense, correct? If you take everything out of the rules of the game of basketball, say, can we play a game when we play basketball? Yes, we can. Is there finals in the game of basketball? Yes, there is. Is there a shot clock? Yes, there is. Can you make a free throw? A slam dunk? Is there a court? Can you make 2 points on a basket? These are all data from the game of basketball. However, the knowledge management of this statement is incorrect. Let me scroll down a little bit. Here at On Point, we work at the top 3 levels of the management scale, the knowledge management scale. We apply the information, which is the information is the applied data. So how are we going to take that statement and make it compatible with the actual rules of the game of basketball? That's the problem. How do we achieve this? We're going to access the data that you have. In this example, we're going to take all the statistics of every player on the team. We're going to filter that data. We're going to filter out the irrelevant data. What player do we want shooting at a certain time? We're going to retrieve that data at the proper time. So in our example, say the clock's got 15 seconds left. Who do we want taking that shot? We're going to use our data to figure that out. And then we're going to use that data to execute the play properly. Now, as we move up the scale, we move on to understanding and wisdom. How does this game work? That's the understanding. We apply that not only to a game of basketball, but to any business that we're going to be consulting for. How does your game work? What works for your game specifically? And then also, we will use our wisdom to tailor a solution for your company. In this case, our wisdom, we move down, there can't be a game 9. There can only be a game 7 in the finals. At most, there can be 24 seconds left on the shot clock. You're going to pass the ball to Kyrie, you're not going to pass it to Jones. He's going to dribble the ball down the court, he's not going to make a free throw. Kyrie's going to pass the ball to LeBron, not Jones. And LeBron's going to shoot the ball, attempting to draw a foul and or a technical foul. Now, all of those make sense in the context of the game of basketball. And that's what we're going to do with the data that your company provides us moving forward. Actually, the real wisdom is pass it to a 60-year-old Jordan still, but that's a matter of opinion. But anyway, the point is that knowledge management is complex, and it applies to every company, every situation, every business out there. Let us simplify it for you. Let us provide the rules, take the data, and move forward. Before I hand it back to Bracken, who is our CEO, I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. Bracken holds an undergraduate degree from Ball State in entrepreneurship and business management. He's over 16 years experience helping organizations map business strategies to business solutions that achieve the utmost in benefits and enhancements. Utilizing his education and experience, Mr. Ross has been able to assist clients in reducing costs, increase profits, streamline operations, creating the optimal work environments.
Strong communications and social skills enable Mr. Ross to effectively and professionally manage projects and client relationships, delivering clear, defined, professionally managed projects and defined solutions. Franklin worked for 6 years as a principal business consultant for Genesis Telecommunications Laboratories, as a channel manager for AdTech Global Solutions. He exercised an exclusive partnership between AGS and Witness Systems. Franklin was responsible for developing, supporting, and strategically driving all of Witness 500 seat and below accounts, representing the Witness Impact 360 Workforce Optimization Suite. As CEO of OnPoint Design, his experience with IT consultant work, customer-centric focus will lead our company to the top of our field.
Thank you, Jake. You're definitely too kind. That description. This concludes our presentation this evening of OnPoint Design, and we thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet our company and meet our team. And we look forward to being on point with you. Are there any questions that we can answer?
Yes, at least two.
Go ahead.
So you said that your company works in agile development.
Yes.
Are you specifically catered to agile, or have you guys entertained waterfall or any other?
We have robust strategies. So actually we cater to the client's needs. Agile is one of our specialties where we involve the user in the process throughout, basically creating that user-centric design. But yes, absolutely, we have other techniques. It really depends on the project, and it depends on how we can best apply to the specifications, the vision of the client.
While we do want to focus on a renewed, I guess, point of the user, we also want to focus on the company that is designing the product too. So it is kind of like he said, whatever suits your company's needs, we will adapt to that.
Great question.
Could you, to follow up question, could you see a potential problem with the company if they wanted to stick with their traditional waterfall when you knew that agile would be better?
Absolutely.
How do you handle that?
Absolutely. I think definitely with the professional team that we have in place, if there is a better opportunity or we have some proven data or experience that we can bring to the table, that's absolutely why you want to hire OnPoint Design. For our vast experience in each one of these areas, that's where we can bring to the table to make it more effective for the client, make it more profitable for them to hire our company. So absolutely.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions for you. One is on agile development, because I think that you brought up a really hot button in the industry right now,
Yeah.
versus how you staff for agile Scrum Masters versus how you're staffing for PMP certifications, and what methodology do you go about staffing for those?
Yes, as the lead project manager, we do outside hiring for that. We hire specifically Scrum developers, and we will meet the needs of your company as best we can.
So the people that will be working on my projects won't be your direct employees, they'll be outsourcing them to a third-party vendor?
No, we hire them directly and keep them within this company. But if we can't meet your needs, we will do that through hiring another person.
All right, I would like the team to express our professional courtesies, please.
Thank you very much for showing us your presentation. We will discuss it and we'll get back to you with our response.
Thank you.
All right, given the time, I am prepared, colleagues, to evaluate. If another team is ready, you can go up. All right, I thought this was a good presentation. A lot of experience that is in this team shows, you know, the question we're going to ask every time we hear one of these teams giving a pitch. From a business standpoint, you know, would you hire these people, or would you feel confident in hiring these people? Given, you know, what we're looking at, brand new companies and so on. So my conclusion on this is that, you know, lots of competencies here, and the content was really quite good. The professional presentations, especially the men, these suits are worth $1 million, gentlemen. They look just great. Some areas of critique are mostly in the presentation style and things that you can actually work on. I really want you to see this in your own videos, but there's a lot of nervous pacing and just clasping of hands, which you'll see. And this is something that it comes from nervousness, and that's adrenaline, and that's okay. But you want to try to make it look much more natural. So try to find ways not to do that. And the lectern can be your friend in a formal presentation. Jacob, especially, you were out in front from the rest of them, and you had a lot of too much space to wander around. I think you were on that side, you were on this side, and lots of moving back and forth like this. And it's okay. It's sort of dynamic kind of, what would you call this, inspirational kind of speech or something like that might work. But in a formal pitch like this, it just is distracting. So several of you did this, and this is something I want all of us to work on. And some of us deal with our nervous hands by putting them in our pockets. These gentlemen were able not to do that, and I see the difference. Somebody wearing a suit like this, you don't put your hands in your pockets ever, and they manage not to do that. If you have a lectern, you can sort of hold on the side of the lectern to do this, or you can hide your hands behind it and so on. So, you will often have a lectern, and there's a place for it. One place that this is a serious critique, and I'm digging you for it. Yeah, it was good on the sort of business stuff, because that's kind of normal and kind of expected, and you kind of knew what to say. But the place that really matters in these presentations, there was a shortfall in the presentation of the people themselves. Now, part of this assignment is not just present a business and pretend to be a business. That's business role playing. But in fact, to introduce the real people. You had lots of really good stuff on these real people, and boy, that's the point, that in almost every time, the team goes into reading mode, and they're reading a speech, and they're looking down, they're not gesturing to the person, and it was like reading a script that you didn't know anything about these people. And you're supposed to introduce the other person. And if this is the best this team could do, to give somebody a script and say, this is my background, that's not a way to sell people. This is, it sounds like you didn't really know, you just met the guy in the airplane, and he says, here, read this. So that's a serious fault in this presentation, and I haven't seen it done like this before, and I'd rather not see it again, because this is part of what makes this an interesting presentation, because we're real people in a real community. Now, you had the content, that's great. The content is king, but the way you deliver that content was this is a fancy word, routinized. You made it routine and not very interesting. It was not the center of the presentation. It was your technique was the center of the presentation of the company. So that's something I think you can work on. As you can see, that this is probably not so serious in something like the Accenture Challenge, because they're not going to be looking for that. But you have a very interesting set of people here in your workforce, and a very different kind of group of people. You really bring a lot to the table as a different personalities. So to me, that was a place where a little better content could have been delivered, but that's an easy fix. It's just, pay attention to that as an issue. Now, the rest of it, I like the presentation of the company. For a young company, in fact, you're drawing on the substantial experience that this group has altogether. And you would convince me. A small critique in this, and I want every team to worry about this, there is such a thing as a business cliche. And it's this sort of buzz phrase, they call it buzz phrase confetti. You just sort of throw it out, we're agile, we're trying to do total customer satisfaction. You could read all these cliches in Tom Peters and just, mix and match the headlines, and you'd be talking like this. It's really important in a creative organization like CICS for you not to go in the ruts of cliches, and specifically about business. Find another way to describe the business in a way that makes sense without going into the cliche. So what they say is, if you're in fashion, the latest fashion, you're already too late, because the latest fashion is really moving on, if you know what I'm trying to say. So if you hear this cliche all the time, don't use it. Use the same concept in original creative terms that you would use yourself. So in general, I thought this was a very good presentation, a very convincing presentation. The word I would use is cogent. Cogent means convincing. So nice job, cogent job, and areas for improvement, but all fairly minor and can be handled pretty easily.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Next, why don't the two teams go up so we get it done relatively rapidly if you're both ready? Both of you go up at once, take your things up and get ready to give them to us. Yeah, go stand aside so they can, you're caught in their camera shot.
Mitch, before you graduate, I worked really hard on this today.
Some pointers on our team. We thought you guys were very well dressed. We thought you guys were all on the same page as far as like where you wanted to go. We like the use of the website. It was kind of different than the traditional PowerPoint or even the Prezi, like the next step up of that. So that was, our team really liked that. Our team would have liked like less reading off of maybe no cards, maybe, I know it's hard, coming in trying to learn all this stuff in, in 1 week. But more eye contact and some more fluctuation of voice. A lot of it was kind of, because I think it was for red, it was kind of your reading, so if there's no pitch, I think that would have helped. And we liked at the end, Bracken, you coming back in after being introduced, and we liked your pitch. I hope we can, I forget what it is.
On point.
Yeah, we can be on point for you guys, so overall, we think you guys did a very, very good job, so. Good job. Thank you. And we like your points square.
Yeah.
And give them their documents.
Yeah, overall, I think we hit a lot of the same points. I think the professionalism was the biggest thing that stood out. We thought it was extremely professional. Down to even just the pictures that you guys used, the headshots were very nice, professionally done, or at least it looked professional. The one thing that we did see was the reading of scripts that Gillette already hit on, or Dr. Gillette, sorry. Dr. Gillette hit on, that it just looked scripted at times, which is a downfall. But overall, very professional, and yeah,
The activity was good.
the activity. There you go. Nice job.
Thank you. Don't clap. Don't clap.